Well, okay, so can you explain why this would have to ontologically occur within reality as a set point of a referential interpretation? Go ahead.
Well, of course, I don't see why it's necessarily the case why it has to ontologically exist.
Why would this actually be a substitution or transitive property of quality? I'm asking.
Oh, well, that would just be by virtue of me obviously asking you the question first. It'll be your burn to prove that, because you made the claim that it's necessarily the case within the ontological physical world. What's going to be the argument for that?
What did you just say? I said, can you go ahead and prove this? It's not my burden.
Oh, wait, hold on. I put the burden on you first.
I put the burden on you. You made the
well, presentation. Of course you think that, but what's the argument for
you
that?
You made the presentation.
That doesn't address anything I've said. You want to conclude?
We can conclude.
Yeah, of course. So I think that everyone in VC has heard the argument I gave, and I think it'll just be more reasonable, more probable that I'm the one who won this well-faith dialectic.
That's your conclusion?
Indeed.
Okay, I believe I get my particular quantifier upon my dissect justification on why this some strand will have to be the case. I put into question everything he has basically proposed. I put into question everything he proposed, which he failed to prove it. So I believe that he has no statistical relationship to his entire thing as a whole. So I believe that would have to prove why he wouldn't.
Well, just to point out, one thing is he only put word burden on me, which would be burden shifting, because I'm the one who actually put the burden on him first.
I put the burden on you. I put that shit into question.
Actually, he only put one thing into question, and that was whether or not
everything into question.
I'm the one who put the burden. Of course, he's going to make the claim that he put that in, that he put everything into question, but he can actually ever prove that. And actually, we can go back into rec.
I get my fantastic.
We can actually go back into rec. We can go back into rec.
I get my.
We can go back into rec. We can go back into
deliberation.
We can go back into
upon
fuck
the ineluctable perennial. Okay. Sure, let's go back into recording.
Yeah, of course. So as you can see, he did not put anything into question other than what I said he put. So that just means he's just a fucking liar. That by virtue
I put everything into question.
See, now he's just being now he's just arguing from ignorance. Literally, he's
it's
being
not arguing from ignorance, because arguing from ignorance is basically trying to say that since some
I'm not going by of course.
I was actually proving why even if you do prove the negative of such thing
I'm gonna cut you off right here
in some strand term, this would have to be a contradiction to your whole entire basic proposition by the reason that it's a particular quantifier on their whole entire system. So that we could just take propositional P and just take that as atom of the diet on par and why the motors go to basically pertain to the same thing in this rigorous reasoning. So like that, I believe that I won this.
You are shadow boxing, because I already said that I'm going by the
so like pretty much I don't think I already won this whole entire thing by saying that I gave my scalar implication, and a scalar implication was basically what the speaker tries to convey information to analytical and more of an inference. But the reasons why they couldn't do such thing if it can be used as small proportions of data. So by that we can give our whole entire
Would you like to conclude? Would you like to conclude? Oh, of course, I believe you think that. I agree you think that. So I believe I won this point by virtue of me saying that he's clearly being dishonest and lying, and that he's simply arguing from ignorance in a literal way, the denotation of argument from ignorance, rather than the analytical definition of an argument from ignorance, the fallacy. That's not what I'm saying. That's why and then after that, he proceeded to shadow box and argue with a wall. So that's why I just believe I won this point.
So I believe you basically just committed both argument from silence because you wouldn't prove your burdens prior, and I also want to say that you were begging the question because you're assuming the conclusions within your premises to be true as a truth value, which is in question. So I believe that I basically already negated you on this whole entire thesis. So this chain.
In response to that one, I never really made or implied a truth value, but since you brought it up, I'm just gonna have to ask you, what is going to be the truth determiner of the premises that are presupposed within your conclusion? Because I'm actually the one who put into question your ontological existence, on whether or not it corresponds with the modal scope of truth that actually goes under my worldview and the President Obama worldview. So sound response to my argument, or will you keep shadowboxing? Yeah, sound argument is going to be something that is a higher level than a valid argument, something valid, wouldn't entail that it's sound. At least that's the way I define it.
What the fuck? That's not what a sound argument is.
What?
Are you dumb?
I already answered your question. Would you like to conclude again?
It's an argument that has that is true in all of its premises, hence granting the modulus ponens of it being.
Well, of course. That's what I said. Or that's what I was implying.
That's what a sound argument is.
That's what I was implying.
Premises.
All you had to do was ask me to clarify on what I meant by a higher degree of something that's valid.
You can't even tell me deductive reasoning attributions.
I already told you. But of course, you can keep shadow boxing. I already said it's going to be a higher degree of a valid argument.
Let me ask you another question.
No, I don't really care for your question. It's not really relevant to the point that's being discussed right now. But the initially relevant point that you made, I'll answer it again, or I'll just clarify on what I meant by it. I said that it's going to be a higher degree of a valid argument. I agree that if you have a sound argument, then it's going to be true within all premises. Cool, I agree with that. That's kind of what I was implying, retard. But of course, your pea-sized brain can't really comprehend that.
It's a valid argument.
So, would you like to conclude on this point? I didn't make any contradiction. Would you like to conclude on this point?
Yes, we can. I already explained that if you have said a sound argument is better than a valid argument in stance, I'm saying that I'm instantiating that if that is the case.
Wait, hold on, wait. Do you?
Because both a valid.
No, I don't think so. I think a valid argument can have one. I think a valid argument doesn't necessarily mean that all premises are true and would infer or follow a conclusion. I don't see why that's necessarily the case. I think a valid argument can simply be summed up as something that makes sense. I think a sound argument can be summed up as what you said. Three premises, for example, that infer or follow a conclusion that are all true. Each premise is true, therefore it'll follow the conclusion. So, would you like to conclude? You said what? Of course you think that.
I don't think that. I know that. Well, actually, yeah, I do. I do think that.
I mean, that would just be the claim, you know. Of course, you can't really defend that claim.
Actually.
Well, that's gonna be the claim. What's the argument for that?
Justification on why this way.
Of course, that's gonna be the claim.
Why every point
are debating
will have to have a true premise.
Well, that's gonna be the claim. Well, that's gonna be the claim.
That's gonna be the claim.
Of course.
Already. About to ask quickly. Justified.
So, well, of course, I know you think that, but I believe that I already addressed that justification.
That's fine.
Yeah, of course, that's just gonna be repeating the claim.
That's gonna repeat the claim.
Yeah, that was your initial claim.
I put in the claim. I initiated.
Are you done?
I've already.
Oh, what was that truth value? Oh wait, was the truth value you going circular?
The truth by me going circular? No.
Yeah, that was the question I asked.
I already instantiated on why this will have to be the case. By the reason that was basically only.
Not really, because you said that the reason why you believe that's a big case was because it's true by virtue of the reasoning, or at least you said that in a disjunction from the initial claim you made, which I put into question. You said that you have reasoning for it, and I believe that I counted their reasoning.
Justification.
Well, of course, that's just going to be the claim.
That's going to be the claim?
No, you're repeating me isn't going to give you any rest of the points. What'd you say?
Nice.
Substantial what?
From silence.
You asked me a question. I asked you to clarify on that question.
To the claim in
I told you to clarify on the question.
I told you.
I didn't put into. I told you to clarify on your question.
To the claim that's
I told you to clarify on that question.
Something that's already been.
I told you to clarify that. I told you to clarify on that question, bro.
Value, which is
why are you still shadow boxing? Please clarify on the question you initially asked. Please go ahead and clarify on the question that you initially asked. If you don't clarify in 5 seconds, then you can see, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Nah, that's not how that works.
Well, of course, that's just gonna be the claim.
That's the claim.
That you made the claim? Yeah, a claim is a statement that is either true or false.
It's the claim.
I didn't agree to anything.
Yes,
I didn't agree to anything.
You said, of course, that would be the claim. That's an agreement.
Yeah. No, I told you what a claim is. A claim that is either true or false.
Yes, of course. Well, yeah.
Are you sure?
Will have to be. in the excluded binary principle.
What are you talking about? What are you talking? What are you talking? You talking about the law of excluded middle?
Binary
I agree.
principle.
Wait, actually, I have a question. Do you believe that? Wait, hold on. Let's talk about something a bit external from the initial dialectic. Do you think that a statement is both true and false? Wait, actually, it isn't really irrelevant. It actually does have some sort of relevance by virtue of me defining what a statement is. So, do you think a statement can be true and false simultaneously?
That's going against the laws of.
Well, of course. What I said, I believe that the laws of. I don't see what is the argument for the laws of logic being objective. Please don't cut me off before you answer that question. I think that a statement is either true or false. How long? Wait, I think a statement is either true or false until something external from the statement determines whether or not it's true or false.
Oh, I get what you're saying. So you're saying that something can be both true and false until something external can be proven which one is a specification.
Exactly. It's rather like I'm kind of devil's advocating for this, but it's a question that I genuinely want to get an answer to.
Has the potentiality and the possibility of being unknown, so we can consider something true.
Oh, okay.
It's nothing that is the case at all.
Okay. I get what you mean. I get you. So you believe that by virtue of it being unknown, don't you agree that that'll be some sort of middle ground which will go against the law of excluded middle?
Not at all.
Why not?
Alright, so let me give this thing. Hold up. Sorry, I forgot what it's called. Have you ever heard of this one guy? What's that shit name? It's a shitty name. Cause this shit real.
Hey, we gotta hurry this up. I got Ricky up on my laptop, bro.
3 values of logic.
Wait, what'd you say? I have not actually.
Okay, so proving 3 values of logic speaks about 3 things. Right?
Of course.
So, hold up, let me get it. Gotta pull it up, my bad. It's tonal logic, which is dependent of the conditional operator.
Okay.
Did you say? Wait, what'd you say it was called?
But then also.
Wait, my fault for cutting you off here. I want you to repeat yourself. You said what logical system are you going under?
Ternary.
You said what?
Okay.
TER.
And
Wait, is y'all debating or what?
Yeah, they are.
We're trolling right now, bro. But like, shit, it's fun. Okay. Yeah, I okay. So continue. Okay.
It's more nuanced representation of uncertain or incomplete information, providing a middle ground between true and false. Right? But then we also have this middle factor. It's called the unknown. This additional truth value is typically saying. Actually, can I give explanation of it?
Go ahead.
Alright, thank you. I'm gonna just type it out. I got it from my boy, Tron Silver. I've been to it, but he got.
You said Electron?
Yeah. He got this from.
But like, it?
It basically, break his it down. Because I understand it. I just don't know how to really perform it until you can understand the representation. So,
Let me see. Okay, so with the rest of the part, I'll look at it after you give this response. So, undetermined, undefined, or unknown. Do you agree this is the middle ground between true and false? Okay. Why?
Because for something, well, if you're saying it's a middle ground, you're determining it as something. But unknown is something,
No.
Something that can't be indeterminate. I mean,
No. Because it wouldn't be... No, I'm sorry. My fault. You're already getting it mixed up. When I say middle ground, it'll be just something external from whether or not it'll be something external from the unknown or the undefined or the intermediate or however you say it.
Then that's something that's not evaluating the question, because we are saying it is unknown. That we are saying
Of course.
it's truth, unknown, and false.
I agree.
Those are the three factors.
Yes, and I think that unknown would be
From
yes. I think something it would okay. So me defining external, my fault. Me defining as the quote unquote unknown as a middle ground would just be an extrinsic property of the quote unquote unknown. It wouldn't be something intrinsic to what's unknown. That's the part you're getting messed up.
So if you're saying external from unknown, this means it cannot be unknown.
You said what?
Something
What
that
you said?
from unknown be predicated from what unknown is. You get it?
Yes, it wouldn't be contingent. Yeah, it wouldn't be. It would be extrinsic from the unknown. So me.
Do you believe that if somebody is known, they aren't contingent on unknown because they are external from it? Because they are known?
Not at all. I don't think. Matter of fact, I don't think that's really. I don't think you understand what I'm saying. I get what you're coming from, at least, though. So when we say something is intrinsic, we're talking about like the most fundamental property of it. Of course, say something is extrinsic. We're talking about like, for example, human hair. Right? It's not a necessary property of a human. That's what I mean when I say unknown. Like this unknown this unknown factor. Within the middle ground, the quote unquote middle ground, me calling it a middle ground isn't going to have any contingency upon the intrinsic properties or what's intrinsic to the quote unquote unknown, but rather it'll be something that's extrinsic, right?
Spell extrinsic?
EXTRINSIC.
Oh, extra bit?
Extrinsic. Extrinsic.
Oh, yeah, I know this. Okay, you say it with.
I just stole the boy cheeky skill and just put this shit inside whatever the fuck this is. No, not extravagant, nigga. Extravagant. Extrinsic. EXTRIN. What is this nigga talking about?
About the constituencies, correct?
Well, I actually don't know what that means.
The constituents?
What do you mean by that? No, you don't need to spell it out. Just tell me what it means. Because I gave you an example so you get like the gist of what I mean by extrin. We went from 7th grade math to whatever the fuck this is.
I don't know.
Yes, basically, yes. But yes, something similar. Yes, the intrinsic properties are going to be the most fundamental properties of someone, such as like the mind.
Of something being unknown, but if you're trying to basically determine it as some middle ground or giving it some property of some determinacy, I promise you that this is not how that works. You gotta understand.
Of course. What I say, the thing is that's where you're getting mixed up. When I say it's middle ground, I'm not in reference to the intrinsic properties, but the extrinsic part. It's going to be something extrinsic. It's not a fundamental part. It doesn't change the fact that it is unknown. That's the point.
Okay, yeah, I'm getting what you're saying. You're saying that rather you're giving it a known position, and the whole entire concept of unknown is to not be known or be able to be defined and determined in any type of way. If you're even determining it to be in this said position or this said part or quality, that is still giving it the same constituency of what we call.
Okay, so here's in response to that, you're saying is like if I'm like saying middle ground, I'm applying some sort of identifying property to it. Me saying it's the middle ground between true or false doesn't tell me anything intrinsically about what the unknown is. The same fact about something apophatic or ineffable. If I say something apophatic or ineffable, it's within the middle ground, or it's something apophatic created something, or basically something like that. It doesn't tell me anything about the apophatic entity or anything like that. It simply just tells me the position it is, but it doesn't tell me what intrinsic properties or extrinsic properties it has. I'm not applying any. It doesn't. Hold on. The point is, I'm not giving any identifying properties to it.
You're contradicting yourself.
How did I contradict myself?
You said, I'm not telling you anything about unknown itself. I'm trying to tell you that if you are giving it a position, or if you're saying that it's within something, that is basically saying that you know where said position is at. And if you know where said position is at, unknown can't be in a position where it is known. I'm telling you, like, for an example, space cannot be in a position where no space is at. You gotta understand.
I'm gonna ask you this. I'm gonna ask.
Space, like something that's outside of the matter. Or actually, let's give it God, for example. God is outside the. I'm not sure if you believe in God, but like, let's just take it as.
I do.
Let's say God exists in this hypothetical syllogism, right? Premise 1. God is unbounded by all concepts, metaphysical concepts, theoretical concepts, space-time, whatever you want to keep on arguing. It doesn't matter. He's not derivative or predicated upon any of our logic or anything, right? Premise 2. If these things are in his presence, or not in his presence, or like where God is at, then that will be proving that God is truly not external from everything. Premise.
I have a question. That's not. Go ahead.
Or where God is at, currently in his true form, then these things would have to have some metaphysical alignment to such things. Conclusion, this will have to statistically mean that God isn't external from everything, and known properties are in his so-called unknown space, which is a contradiction.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask you 2 questions. 1, if I were to say that something unknown is within heaven, does that tell me anything intrinsically about the unknown? Oh my God. Do you think it being in heaven is a fundamental property of the unknown? Oh, so let me ask you this. Let me ask you the next question. Do you think it being in heaven is an extrinsic property? Or no, you gotta say something extrinsic from the unknown. What'd you say? Why? And what is that? And knowing that,
this will have to be a position. If it's not a position, this in question, giving it. Unknown.
that doesn't,
The external.
nigga. Bruh, go ahead.
For an example, non-existence should be external from existence.
Of course.
Known and unknown should be external from each other. It is contradictory for something to be unknown and still within the presence of something that is known.
Oh my God.
Just like God.
Do you think? Nah, I get what you mean. It's okay. Bro, it's okay. I get what you mean. I get you. I have a question. Look, I have a question.
We want to basically understand or try to understand God in the most conceivable way, situation possible. But it doesn't mean that we are basically defining what He is, right? He is truly unknown, and I'm saying that any property that is known cannot be within where He is currently at. He is external from all creation and all of this. Even if we were to meet God, we would become them. When we ascend, I believe we will become an unknown variable, because we truly still to this day don't know how it feels to ascend from this.
Listen, I get what you mean, bro. I understand everything now. Well, I already did, but look, I'm gonna ask you 2 questions. Look, do you think, by virtue, matter of fact, do you think that the place itself is distinct or external from the unknown. The quote unquote place. Let's say God, right? The God is unknown. And the place. Hold on, listen. Let me clarify. We have God in heaven, right? Do you think that heaven is an extrinsic, distinct thing from God? You're correct. Going under what you define God as. Do you think everything that is external from God is inherently extrinsic from God? Yes, everything that is external from God is extrinsic from God.
What do you think non-existence is?
You said what?
Do you agree with God? No.
What do you mean? Okay, under this hypothetical, sure.
So, let me tell you. I'm not sure if you agree with God. Because if you don't, that's what's hard. But like, hey.
What do you mean agree? Like, what do you mean agree?
Like,
oh yeah, I agree. I think he exists.
Okay. So I believe the idea of non-existence is something that's outside the presence of God. Everything we know, we are in the presence of God. Which I believe that everything we know, everything that is in the presence of God. You gotta understand that. While he's still external from all of his creation, we are within that. That's what I'm saying.
Which I understand, so I'm gonna ask you again.
You can't apply.
Do you think that everything external, all of creation, all of non-existence, all of that is external from God, but it'd be extrinsic from God?
You're saying external from God?
Yes, external from God. You're saying God is external from everything? So I'm gonna...
We are contingent on him.
Okay, of us being contingent off him? Yeah, okay, that doesn't answer the question. Of being... Okay, look, if we're contingent from God, if we're contingent to God, then we can still be extrinsic from him. Doesn't mean that was still until we're external from him.
No, we're not.
What do you mean, no, we're not?
We're not extrinsic from God.
Then what are we? If we're not extrinsic, you just said we're contingent upon him, though. So if we're contingent upon him, then we can send every...
Because when I think about extrinsic, I think you mean like not an essential part. My bad. I'm reading that wrong. My bad. I gotta remember. Okay, extrinsic. It is. What the hell?
That's what I'm saying. We're not an essential prop. We're not an essential property. We're not a fundamental property of God. That's what's hard. What?
God doesn't have properties.
What does that even mean?
God doesn't have properties.
Okay. I don't think that really addresses anything.
What we think of a logicality is the best we go explain God as, but I'm just gonna say like this. I don't believe so everything we know, us as a human foundation, a human society, I don't believe any concept and anything we know in the most conceivable sense in the third dimension we can really apply to God. But I believe that what we do is we take the highest source of power in the most understandable way and try to apply it to God. Because I don't think we can truly understand or even define it.
Yes. So I'm going to ask you this. Do you think that God created everything?
Correct.
Okay. So, if he created everything, then by virtue of that, he would have to have that identifying property of creation. Do you agree?
Not really.
Why not?
That's a predicate you're trying to apply to.
Okay, so what's in question is whether or not these properties are even applicable to God. But what I'm trying to figure out, okay, let's make this more clear and more coherent. An identifying property would be a feature or something someone is capable of doing. So if I have the identifying property If I have the identifying property of being able to walk, then I can walk. If I don't, then I cannot walk. If God doesn't have the identifying property of not being able to create, then He cannot create.
I do disagree with the law of excluded middle being able to, quote unquote, be true and false. But when that applies to God, I believe, like, He's more or so in that state. I don't know how to explain it. But
like, this nigga is getting blissed by, you're getting blissed by your own thoughts, bro.
I'm trying to understand this. Because, like, put it like this. I believe that God can be of what we think of contradictions and not contradicting. You get it?
What? No.
He can be this and that, but then he's also not that. It's so funny.
Oh, you said okay. So if you put it that way, then once again, that'll just be applying identifying properties to him by virtue of you saying. Wait, hold on. By virtue of you saying he can be this and that.
And anything that
Okay, that's an identifying property.
Say of something. So when we think about God, we really think about an impossible rule. But I'm telling you
that's not possible.
It's only impossible to our level of four-dimensional logic, but it doesn't apply to anything of a higher dimension or something discreetly external from dimensionality.
Okay, so that's going to be presupposing the laws of logic, presupposing that they are objective, right? That'll just be presupposed. That presupposition itself will have the presupposition that the laws of logic are only confined within that. That these laws of logic will be confined within the three-dimensional scale. That's only under the hypothetical or the presupposition that they are true, because once again, that's already what's in question. That's what we're discussing on right now. That's the overarching claim. That's kind of the whole point of debate right now. There's no need for that. I'd want to go. Hold on, we can go into that after if I feel like it.
So basically, you were trying to basically give an ineluctable point, right? Upon the modal analysis of this methodology, I'm trying to tell you that this is what I have to be prescribing this.
Put that. Wait, hold on. Wait. Put.
Of the consequent, which via this, the laws of identity and all of that would have to be an objective factor, because everything of X would have to still have something. If something is unknown truly in this main concept, and it cannot be having the possibility of being known, like it cannot be a contingent truth, then that would have to be outside the presence of God, which is non-existence in itself. And non-existence does not exist. It is something that can't exist or be an objective factor.
What are you talking about?
You could have argued that.
No, it's not the fact that I couldn't follow it, but a lot of it I just don't think really is relevant to the point. Or rather, it was the fact that. Anyways, so in response to what you said, right?
You could have argued that non-existence and existence, like non-existence in itself, is not true or false.
Anyways.
You could have.
I don't see what that means. I'm retarded. And actually, I did think of something similar to that, but the fact that you can never prove that, and I just told you, I thought it was something similar to that. Actually, matter of fact, my argument, I'm giving something right now. Wait, the point is that what I'm arguing right now is similar.
Pendentialism. Do you know what that is?
What?
Huh?
I said go ahead.
A particular quantifier of this may entail the failment of the existence, but the true is true despite this, right? So, like, let's take traditional logic of this case. Some A's are not B's. Concerning all of the part of the necessarily of A, you have to have some X. And then that X domain will have to usually quantify that domain, which lacks said property. So yeah, even if we were to take the B-axiom, which entails if something can be necessarily true, then it is true, and not initially clear on why it would be the case, though. That would still kind of be a side of it to the main point of the substandum point. Get it?
really?
Yes, it's a regular spontaneous coefficiency. My bad.
I guess that another domain class. But he had.
Your second fixation upon why this isn't the case.
You said what? Oh, I want you to repeat. I want you to give a brief summary of what you said initially.
What is the difference? You want me to repeat?
Give a brief summary of it. Not as long. Just like get to the like.
I'm not gonna lie, bro.
What's up?
You're cooked.
Okay, that's not really what you said, but okay.
I just said I'm just gonna be like.
I didn't tell you to.
That trash ass nigga named Camora, and I'm gonna be.
I didn't tell you to.
Proving why I'm obligated to repeat myself.
I never said that. What the hell?
I'm gonna be like Camora.
Oh, I thought you said Camora. But I don't want you to repeat everything you said because that'll just be like actual AIDS. I want you to repeat. Basically, just give me the conclusion of like what you're trying to get at with all of that.
The recapitulation of the conclusion.
I want you to repeat that.
To be honest, you're cooked. Because I'm not gonna prove that until you can prove.
Well, I'm about to say if you're not gonna repeat what you said, and I can't give an actual response to it, there's not much to debate then.
Ultimate trolling mode. Prove that. Prove that.
Prove what? My existence?
Nigga, you never help me. Nigga, you prove that you have to prove your existence?
Well, I never made the claim that I did.
You never made that claim?
So you said what? Can I prove that I never did?
Prove that?
By virtue of me not ever saying it.
Go ahead and prove that, virtue.
Yeah, it'll just be prima facie epistemologically justifiable.
Did you just say prima facie?
I already did. I did not. I didn't. That's not what I said. That's not all. What I said. Prima facie epistemologically justifiable.
Yeah, and I'm telling you that I just debunked it.
No, you said something about prima facie. Matter of fact, actually, no. You simply defined prima facie.
First impression, and for the impression that's in question that is going based off of the quality and the feeling and all that will have to basically go based off what we call subjective. I have a question though.
Well, of course, that's the point is whether or not I think that. I said I think I do.
I won.
That's not a concession. I can explain to you why it isn't.
Because I get my infographic evidence basically on why this visual representation.
What is infographic? What is infographic?
Understandable question.
What is infographic? What is infographic?
Which is basically the whole entire embodiment of the same concept that I was basically trying to info. I'm basically trying to use some rhetoric to basically to the efforts of dominating this whole entire goal.
Amazing. Chat. He's back to shadowboxing.
Actually trying to give this whole entire dialectical
Yes.
These rich, non-hierarchical, or non-judgmental, or non-judgmental framework is established in the whole entire interaction of understanding the participants in themselves, which is the ideological rhetoric I was basically trying to ratio of this. Hence, I'm gonna just say that you made the mention upon why this is the set of misrepresentation of the argument was making an irrelevant, unsound argument which doesn't correlate to the main account argument-wise. Damn, I can fucking
But nigga, when did politics get into here?
Damn, I need to yap more.
This nigga said something about political. What the hell?
Ideological rhetoric.
Well, that presupposes ideological exists. Actually, I have a question. Like I said, I have a question. No, that's cool. I actually have a question. Do you think that prima facie epistemologically justifiable things are actually valid and sound arguments? Especially when I take the position that I think that Rimuru slams. So it's going to be the case that Ham is represented physically by virtue of actually, I said that wrong. Ham is represented physically due to spatial interaction. We can prove this empirically by virtue of everything that we experience. We actually see people go through age, and we see people have things such as movement. I define time as simply the progression of events, right?
effect to add importance or to make the thought expand.
What is blood reading?
Circumstance to upon why there's have to be sodium in the scales. Hence, given the introductory portion of orientation. Hence, we can just basically say that this whole entire thing will have to basically come in ingesting the data suggest which a minor or major modification of the model will have to be in extreme cases of focusing on the analytical changes within that same point. Hence, making the argument of series in the indeterminate or intermediate steps, providing the transition from premises to a conclusion, which is only in the same. I'm just trying to throw this.
Bro. So back to the argument I gave, time is represented physically by virtue of spiritual interaction. We can prove this empirically by virtue of everything that we experience. We see people go through age. We see people go through movement.
For this whole entire thing, we'll have to basically make the arrangement of that same interpreted spatial relationships. So spatial relationships will have to come into a non-classical point, which we have to give logical expressions, and then
why would that be the case?
Point on why these propositions will have to come into the neighborhoods of the framework for interpreting these same things. So, even if we were to take the intermediate point, we can basically say that this will have to be entopencentric towards the main ontology I'm trying to basically give. So I want to kind of like more significantly explain it. So basically we know that the pure consistent logic upon this attests to this significant development of the maturity, which only gives a character of a critical historical analysis to this appreciation of historical relations. So I'm basically trying to basically say that this is the randomness, which is immeasurable, entangled, unaccountable of the upon aimless point. There you go.
Yo, I might be because my mom woke.
You never amped me. I'm amping you.
Yeah, but it's mom, bro. I think I woke. Yo, MTF. I think I woke my mom up, bro.
Damn.
What you say?
He woke his mom.
It's like 2 a.m. It's like 2 a.m. bro. I never said all that.
Yes,
I would say I already think you conceded anyways. So.
you already conceded. And I'm gonna explain.
Yeah, I think you conceded.
I'm gonna tell you why you consider it. So basically, I'm gonna give the disputed more on why these questions will have to solidly prove this probable course of which may be followed.
What do you mean by solidly?
Significantly, I gave the development upon why this most
Significantly?
will have to give the relational.
You stuttered, by the way.
Relevant logics, which will have to be validity. Gives
Palladity? Palladity?
interpreted informally to the same.
Informally?
Or possible pieces of information.
What about a praying mantis?
Which can give given relevant or relative for this in fact
Semantic?
of the relevant logic.
Relevant?
My functional conjunction why this will have to be connected, hence making me